I'm just making it like, yeah. So, hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Mentor Matters. And this is Priyanka Chelani, co-founder at Expertbells. And today we have a special guest with us and with an expertise in the areas of distribution, sales, administration, HR management, profit center management, and not this but a rich experience in all the aspects of corporate business. And he's none other than Mr. Gopal Sechpal, an astonishing leadership coach. So it's fantastic to have you here. We welcome you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this wonderful program organized by Expert Bells, Priyanka Chelani being the co-founder. Uh, Let me start with a story. That
Yeah,
story is about myself.
okay,
That
that would
story is about myself. The days I was working with Eastman Kodak Company, I happened to meet a professor from the Penn State University. His name was Dr. Gene Sena. And somehow I met him how because we were part of Eastman Kodak Company in India, and he was the head of management services of Eastman Kodak Company in Rochester, New York, America. And he got fancy for me only because of the motivational theories that I was throwing here and there. And I was in Delhi at that time. And then, suddenly he said, Gopal, you have to come to Bombay. Your place is in the headquarters, not in the branch in Delhi. I said, okay. And he told me, I said, I don't know much about HR because I've been selling radiographic products, X-ray materials to hospitals and clinics. He said, doesn't matter. You have the basic knowledge. I said, Gene, Kodak was always on first term basis. So I said, Gene, I am very, very unfamiliar. Don't know the way Kodak works as far as the HR policies or procedures are concerned. He said, don't worry. My motto, and you please take it from me and remember it for all times to come, which I have done. And that's what I'm sharing with you, ladies and gentlemen. He says, progressive improvement is always better than postponed perfection. I repeat this. Progressive improvement is always better than postponed perfection. Many people in this world wait for them to become all experts and then only they say they will get into the field, whether it's marketing or production or any other field. Unless we are perfect, we won't. He said, keep learning. Life is nothing but learning, a series of learnings. I have remembered this principle throughout my life. And another, this is a great leadership lesson. Anybody who believes in leadership, keep on making progress. And that's what corresponds with today's concept called Kaizen. Kaizen was also continuous improvement and continuous improvement on the basis of progressive improvements, slowly, steadily. You achieve something, stay with that, experiment with that, make mistakes maybe. And when I say make mistake, I'm quoting Tom Peters, who said, make a mistake, but move on. I repeat that. Make a mistake, but move on. Don't sit there and cry. Ho gaya na, ho gaya, as we say in Hindi. Now, what is the remedy? What have you learned from that mistake? And with that, you carry on. So, friends, in a way, I've given you some statutory caution here. I will be making quite a few mistakes when I'm speaking to you. So please understand that that will be a learning process for me also. And but only because you are scared of making mistakes, you won't do anything. That is not the way to progress. The way to progress is make a mistake, learn from it, and move on. Keep on and improve on that. With that, I like to, as Priyanka mentioned to me, that most of you are from the startup companies, or you are about to start your own companies, or you will be working for startup companies. So, seven things, seven sins, as I called it. About 5 months back, I spoke to an association in Mumbai, Vasai area, where the industries association assembled together, and the topic given to me was, what are the business owners, the startup owners making mistakes? Why are some of them remain wherever they are, although years have passed? So I did some R&D research, and I found that there are seven things. Let me not call a very strong word, sins. Seven mistakes startup companies do, and those are. I won't have time to elaborate. I was telling Priyanka that these are topics for one full day, seminars or training programs. So I will be just covering the bullets. First one is they compromise on the infrastructure. Once again, coming out of my experiences with a friend who's a chartered accountant, when I wanted to do start my own business after leaving Kodak, he said, always think of 100 days. For the next 100 days, don't think of any earning. Just think of building infrastructure. And he said, don't compromise on infrastructure. Build the infrastructure, because that's going to come handy once the 100-day period is over. You will have people bounce on your head who want the product immediately. So don't compromise on the infrastructure part. Even before you start your business, see that men, money, machines, materials, methods are all in place. And also, if your business has anything to do with the environment, make sure that environment is also conducive. So never compromise. Second one is, do not do this distress selection, as I call it. Yeah, you need somebody, and you whatever whosoever comes on the way, first person who comes on the way, and you just sort of hire that person. Now that is not done. If you are not good in selection yourself, it's good to spend money at this stage, hire a professional, give them what the key result areas you want from this person. As the MBA books will say, KSA, knowledge, skills, and attitudes or behaviors, skill metrics, as the HR manager would tell you. Skill metric, drop the skill metrics for every job, and then give it to that person and ask that person I need is should fit into this, not only this say, but that person should be able to behavior wise also mentally tuned to do that job. Because if you are desperate, people will come to you for a job because they know you are desperate to hire them, and they are desperate to get hired, and then frustration will start building. So never do distress selling. Be very, very selective, be choosy. And here I like to quote the book written by one young author. She's a blind, actually, Sheena Iyengar, her name, and the name of the book is Art of Choosing. And in that, one beautiful sentence she has written, and she says, "Be choosy about choosing." Be choosy about choosing, and the same principle let's apply in selection also. Third one is, don't miss out on the orientation part. You go to a restaurant, you will see, you can spot out who are the people who have not been oriented into serving you well on the table. And there will be a lot of movement in the hall, but nobody will deliver the dishes at your table. You may have experienced that. I have experienced this many times. Why? Because they are not oriented into the customer service, and that is very dangerous. Customer comes one, gets frustrated, and never comes back. Yeah, same thing happens to other businesses also. So orientation about the vision, mission, values, and objective goals, actions, they must be done by no less than the CEO himself or herself, or the top team of the organization, not leave it to the juniors to train them. Orientation, no. Training, yes. Training is later on. That's my fourth point. Yeah. Startup company generally neglect on the training part. Training being of two types, functional training and also the behavioral training. More than the functional training, behavior on the job is more important. If you are not properly behaving on the job, your functional equipment will go in the second rate. Nobody bothers about your professionalism if your behavior is not proper. So pay attention to the behavior training also, as well as the functional training. Both are equally important. Fifth point is, from day one, whatever position you are holding, whether you are the CEO of the company or you are the frontline supervisor or manager, be very, very non directive. Dialogue with people is more important. Ask them what is that you should be done. You say you have learned at the colleges. That's what my questions to most of the people. You have learned it at the college. My college just finished long back. You are fresh. What is that you have learned which we can apply here? What is that you can learn this process can improve? Yeah, I mean, as simple a process as cutting vegetables. The more you cut, the more ideas come into your brain, and you start, finding ways and method how to do it faster and better. And that is because who knows more about the process? The people working on the machines or the process themselves, and not the people sitting in the air conditioned cabins. Please remember that. So don't be directive. This is the way. This is the way to do. This is the only way. No, 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 never. Never do that. Say, all right, this is the way we have done. How do you think we can improve? Listen to them. Maybe if there's some merit in that, adopt it. What is wrong with that? As I said, I repeat, life is lifelong learning. So learn from whosoever is able to teach. Performance management, somehow in my own personal experience also, performance management is considered waste of time. It is not, brothers and sisters. It is not. Performance management is not at the end of the period exercise, at the end of the year or under the probation period. It starts from the day the person moves into the organization. Set the goals at that time. This is what our expectation from you is, brother. This is what you are expected to do. These are whatever you call it, the KPIs or KRAs or goals or objectives or success factors or whatever name these are. To me, these are semantics. Okay, tell them that this is what you were expecting. In the initial stages, give for a short term. For the next 1 month, this is what we want you to achieve. If you know how to do it, very good. If you don't know, let's discuss about it. And if ever you get stuck, I'm available to you. Please come back. Don't hesitate. I am there to make you successful, because your success is my success. That's the kind of language leaders speak. So performance management starts from the day the person walks into the organization, not at the end of the period. Start from there and then review the result, improve the results. That what Deming has given, that beautiful formula called PDSCA: plan, do, check, act. It continuously can, and that corresponds to the this continuous improvement, also progressive improvement, better than postponed perspection. PDCA cycle, Deming cycle as we call it, is helpful in that. And the last one is, this is specially directed to the top team of the organization, CEOs, and also other top managers. Your job is being a manager, being a leader, and not doing the job. No way. Don't do the jobs yourself. Although you may find it comfortable, faster also at times, but don't do that, please. I call it choose being other rather than doing. You be a professional leader or a professional manager, but don't do it. And that reminds me of a story about uh, Dhirubhai Ambani. One journalist wanted to interview him, and he said, "Well, sir, I want to understand your way of leadership." He says, "Okay." He says, "Well, I don't have time." He says, "Okay, sir, I just want to sit in your room. Allow me. I won't ask you any questions. I won't disturb you. Just give me a corner. I sit there and observe what you are doing. I will be able to find out." 2 hours that journalist sat in the vice room. No paper came for his signature. No telephone came. Dhirubhai was still busy with doing whatever jobs we were doing. After 2 hours, the journalist got up. He said, "Sir, I am confused. How are you running this organization, so-called empire?" He says, "Yeah, it's running. But how?" He said, "People are sitting outside. People sitting outside." Yes, he said, "Yeah. I pay them to manage. I don't manage. I pay them to manage." So, friends, you have hired people, you are paying them, let them do their job. It is not that you have to do their job. If you are ending up there doing their job, then you are not being a professional, you are only being a worker. Now, it's your choice. Now, that leads me to the second topic which Priyanka has lined up, and that is ISO 9000. How does this ISO 9000 integrates into management? And please keep on sending on chat note or something that your questions to Priyanka will take up at the end.
I think
Uh,
you have already given such big lessons to the founders. I think
the-
the big lessons you have already gave in just last 15 minutes.
the-
Mo-
thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
appreciating.
Would be very helpful. I'm pretty much sure it would be very helpful for us and
And
for
I
the
wish
other people.
I have a full 4 days to cover all these topics. I would have loved to do that. Anyway, okay. Now, ISO, the short form of the quality system, is called Quality Management System. ISO is that International Standards Organization or International Organization for Standardization. That is what the name is. When I left Kodak, I started practicing. I must have helped about 50 odd companies to get certified, but I don't do that anymore. My time is taken away in corporate training, in coaching people one to one, particularly C-suite managers and all, and also team coaching. Yeah, that's where my major time goes. All right, ISO 9000 basic principle. You please remember. I won't be able to cover all the standards and all. uh, Basic principle on which ISO is based is write what you are doing, and secondly, do what you have written. I repeat, write what you are doing and do what you have written. Now, if there is a gap that you have written something and you're doing something, doing differently, then it is called non-conformity, which is not really liked by the certifying bodies. Non-conformities are not tolerated. You have a choice. If you have changed the process and the way of working, go back to the drawing board, change their SOPs, because these 11 10 standards which are listed in ISO 9001 is named by leadership, planning, support, operations, and performance evaluation and improvement. These are the 10 sectors in which you have to write the SOPs. So any expert you can hire, or some of you may be already doing it, you can do it on your own. Go to the certifying body and get your SOPs certified by them, and that's your quality management system on the whole. Okay. So basic thing remains: do what you are, write what you are doing, and do what you have written. If there's a gap, change. Then what is the change because usually we're changing the processes. Problem is, which I have noticed myself, people change the process, but they don't go back to the drawing room to change the SOPs. And that's where the non-conformity starts coming. So be careful on that, please. Now, this ISO 9000 is based on which is where I'll be spending a little more time, is based on seven management principles, whole of ISO 9000, which is significant to our startup companies. And the first principle is customer focus. Peter Drucker, if some of you know or heard his name, he used to say, the purpose of any business is to create a customer. And we elaborated further, and our new term is the purpose of every business is to create a customer and maintain that customer. Because business comes from repeat customers, customer focus, and that's where when I covered those seven sins of the startup companies, where I was saying don't compromise on the orientation and also on the training. My focus is on that. Be customer oriented, customer friendly. Customer is the king. Whether you believe it or not, business comes from them. Money comes from the customer. Then only we pay. And what is the customer looking for? Any customer for any product. This is a universal principle I'm sharing with you. Only three things. Customers look for three things: what? Cost, cost, quality, and delivery. That you're competitive in cost, and your quality is, if I can use what Juran used to say, is fitness for use. Whatever the product is designed for, it should be able to work that way. That is what is quality. And there's an awesome book written long time back by one Philip Crosby. The name of the book is Quality is Free. And there he said there are two parameters to quality. One, conformance to requirement. Whose requirement? Customer's requirement. Customers tell you what they want. And doing it right the first time and every time. Because if you do not do right, we are not talking the cost of learning, and when you are initially making experiments and changing the process and all that, some quality is lost in that, some cost is also lost in that. But once you are fully equipped, when the process is settled, then no compromises. So two parameters given by Philip Crosby is conformance to requirement of the customer and doing it right the first time. That is what is customer focus. And third one is the delivery, where they want, when they want, how they want. Three factors in delivery: where they want, how they want, when they want. If you can't deliver it, then they are not. Then they will find another vendor, which is disastrous. Moving on, the second management principle, is called leadership. Here I am quoting my own mentor, Marshall Goldsmith, whose amazing book is What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And he says there are three main qualities of a leader: courage, humility, discipline. Courage. Courage to say or do what is required to be done. Courage to say or do what is required to be done any given time. Humility, but do it with grace, do it with humbleness, do it with don't rub people on the wrong side. Maintain your courage, but don't rub people on the wrong side. And discipline. My favorite example is Amitabh Bachchan. Why is Amitabh Bachchan? Because of discipline, because of anusashan. If you cannot maintain anusashan, you cannot grow. Believe me on that. That is the leadership. Leadership, courage, humility, discipline, happy balance between the two. You have to blend these qualities into it has to be your being. It has to be your persona. It has to be inbuilt in yours. The third management principle is engagement of people. How do you keep people engaged? Give them, as I told you earlier, give them goal, set those KPIs or KRAs in the beginning. Then don't let them, get into activity trap. They will show you I'm very busy, but be result oriented. Okay, you are busy, but this is the result we are expecting you to produce. Where is that? No, I didn't get time. Then what are you doing? I don't want to see you, running around from side to side, but not delivering the result which you are required to do. That is, so clarify goals, clarify roles. Roles and goals, the difference is that I'm sitting here right now talking to you as a tutor. When I go home to my wife, I become a husband. When I go in front of my children, I become a father. So my cap keeps on changing. According to that, my goals also change. So roles change, goals change. Similarly, in your every leader's hat, every leader's role, designation, there are various roles which are contained. According to the role, set goals and produce the result. That is what is engaging your people. Make sure your people are not whiling away time, not 9 to 5 kind of people. They spend their time, get tired, let them get tired, but don't hold them after 5 o'clock, because then work life balance problems will start coming and they will be lethargic. After all, people become counterproductive. And so use them from 9 to dumb, really use them 9 to 5, whatever the period is, but they are engaged on the job for the result they are required to produce and not only do the activities. That is what engagement of people is. Then the process approach. Well, I've explained that earlier also. Write your SOPs, conform to what is our practices are being happen, and if the processes have undergone a change, go back to the table. That is the process approach. What is process? People who are from IT, they understand it that way. Input, activities, output. These three put together is what is the processes. Input, activities, output. Put together is a process. And series of processes become a system. So remain process oriented, process approach. What are the inputs? How are you doing the activities and what is the result you are producing? That is what. Improvement, I was already, the fifth one is improvement, which is PDCA cycle, plan, do, check, act. It is given by Deming, and I think most of the people are familiar with that. Do plan, work on this, check, are you on the right direction? If it is not, then change the process. Sixth one is evidence-based decision making. Best form is Ishikawa diagram, which is called fishbone diagrams also. Draw up that. Where is the problem? Focus on that problem and try to rectify the problem. The seventh one is relationship management. Here, I will only say one thing. Read Dr. Stephen Covey's book called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, particularly Habit 5, which says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. That's the formula for relationship. Seek first to understand. First, listen. We are so fond of talking that we don't listen to other people and they get offended. And when they get offended, there's no relationship left. Listen first, then speak. So, friend, these are the 7 principles on which ISO operates. Work on that. How do you build teams? We have time. Yeah, you are muted.
Sorry. So we're getting one question from the audience. Like, as we all know that building and retaining talent is really crucial for the startups as well. So how to keep our employees motivated enough so that their productivity increases and the retention rate also increases?
Wonderful question. You have already led me to the next topic, which I was in any case going to talk. How do you make your teams individual? What is teams? Teams are set of individuals. How do you keep them motivated? All right. Now, I will give you 7 steps for that. How many? 8 steps. Sorry. 8 steps for that. Those of you who are writing, please write down. And the person who has asked the question, thank you for asking, lady or gent, whosoever
Yeah.
that person. Yeah?
Asked by Mr.
Give you-
Aditya.
I'll give you some Hints only, once again, bullets. So, in the interest of time, I will be short. So, number one, begin with this small survey. And in the survey, you ask only two questions from that individual or from the team. Number one, how well are we doing? First question is, how well are we doing? Secondly, how well we need to do. Currently, what we are doing and what we need to be doing. Ask that question. Create the survey, evaluate the results, and that moves out. Then calculate the results. The second step is calculate the result and share it with the team members or the members or with the individual. Share it with them. Because when you share, they get involved. The best way to motivate, answering that question very specifically, ask people what is their ideas, and when they give you idea, listen to that carefully. At that time you only say thank you. Some are workable, some are not workable, but if you get into yes but however, I'm using these things which people use, yes but, yeah, however, now when you do that, you are not really motivating people. Believe me, you are discouraging people, you are damaging their personality. Listen to them and say, thank you. This is good. I'll see how we can work out. I'll come back to you if it is how to make it work. Let me first understand what you are saying. Seek first to understand and then only respond. That is the best way to motivate people. That is the third is that then you share with them. No, the third one is ask them I repeat. Number one, do the mini survey where you say, how well are we doing? How well we need to do. Secondly, then tabulate the results and finding you share with the people. The third one is ask each member what are the two key behavior that person will change about himself based on that survey. Listen to this very carefully. There's a challenge here. All right, this is heard. This is what we have found. Out of this, what are the one or two things that you will like to change about yourself? Be very polite, humble. Humility is the name of the game. Okay, no, brushing people on the side. Don't throw this thing uh, as if you are punishing them. No, never punish the messenger. They have come as a messenger. That is what Ravan made the mistake of Hanuman ji ki pooch ko jalane wala kaam mat karo yaar. Messenger has to be treated with respect. That person is a messenger. Respect him and say, what is that you will do, brother, to change yourself? Fourth one is then help those members to prioritize one or two, three things. Pehla kya karoge? What is the first that you will do? Then support them to create an action plan in those 5W format. How will when will you do? Where will you do? How will you do? What will? Let me start from the way. What will you do? When will you do? Where will you do? Whose help you need? Ask these questions and then create that action plan and share that action plan together. It should be a partnership between you and your employees or your team. It should be partnership. Partners work together and they don't throw weight at each other. No. So partnership, you create a action plan and then allow that person to review it themselves, how well are they progressing, what they set out to do or change, and how far they have reached. If they are stuck somewhere, ask them to come back to you so that you can support them. That was the sixth point. And the seventh one is do follow up. Let me share my slogan. Nothing is happening now. Now it is happening now because Priyanka followed up with me. Nothing is happening now, unless you follow up. Nothing is going to happen tomorrow unless you follow up. And nothing has happened in the past, because of without any follow up. So I repeat from the beginning: nothing has happened in the past without your follow up. Nothing is happening now without your follow up. Nothing will happen tomorrow without your follow up. So follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. And follow up and follow down, there's a difference. Generally, we are trained to do follow down. That means, like, I mean, if you, Priyanka, I've given you some task. Yeah, I'm just using you as a role play. Okay, I've given you
Yeah.
some. And the last date was, say, yesterday. When will I check with you? I'll check with you today. But that is follow down so that I can beat you now. I can beat you. Ah, Priyanka, I got you. You didn't do this. We are deliberately using the word follow up. One day before or 2 days before, I must check out with Priyanka and say, Priyanka, I hope you will be catching up with that date. And if you are stuck somewhere, if you need my help, please do let me know. That is the follow up I am asking for you.
Okay.
Okay, do that follow up, please.
Mm.
All right. The last point is that same mini survey you do after 6 months or 3 months, so
Okay,
that
that.
you can. All right.
I think everybody has got their answers, and I think so. In just 30 minutes, you have gave us such a lesson that we have read at least 3 to 4 books. It's like it's the lessons from the almost 3 to 4 books you have gave us, and I really appreciate. And I'm so thankful to you.
Hmm.
I think it would be very helpful to the people, to the startup founders who are here, because you have mentioned such great leadership strategies. I think if we'll get the chance to implement, we'll definitely build a positive and motivating work environment for our teams.
Priyanka, there are 2, 3 more minutes. If you want me to use, I'll use it on coaching. Just give an introduction to coaching. Coaching definition wise is facilitating positive change through improved thinking. As coaches, what we do is you are using your knowledge or skills up to a level. Our job is to improve that, take you on a higher platform. So you start thinking differently, and when you think differently, you will work differently, and that produces better result. This is There is a lot more to do. And remember one thing, that everybody, you hear me also, everybody who joins an organization comes for two journeys during their life, their working life. And those two journeys are doing journey and being journey. People want to work, with their own hands or with their mind or brain or whatever, but they want to become better also. That is the being journey. So please, as leaders, help them to do a better job. And through that better job, they become a better human being and a better professional also. That is where your leadership lies. That is for future. That's all from my side. But if you still have a question, I'm open.
So I think it's always better to connect with the coach and mentor. Like if you're
Yes.
starting something new, and you, because you, one person cannot be perfect at everything, at every single moment, at every single state, like every single step, a step, we need expertise and guidance of the people who have such rich experience, right? So, sir, like we're finishing this for today, I think.
I just
Yeah.
take a minute for the last
Yeah,
sentence,
yeah, yeah,
Priyanka.
sure, yeah,
My
sure.
mentor,
Your food.
my mentor, when I was initiated into coaching, he used to make all the 32 for 34 of us stand out one by one and say, and he used to, ask us to repeat. He did it himself. I have a weakness about, I get very angry. I'm just going to give you an example. I get angry easily. I have a need to improve. I need help, and I'm humble enough to accept anybody who can give me help. That is,
Okay.
yeah, that's my
Amazing,
part.
amazing,
Yeah, okay.
amazing.
I stop.
Yeah. So, sir, as we all know that uses export bells is connecting founders with the mentors, so that we would be able to the match the energy with the rich experiences and expertise, right? So I think the audience who is here, like the startup founders and the people who are planning to start, and if you want to connect and learn more from Mr. Gopal Sechpal sir, so he is available on expertbells.com. You people are I think he would be very happy to, to guide you, to support you in your startup journey. So again, I would like to say thank you so much, sir, for your insightful, the knowledge or you have provided us today. So, sir, before we finish it, just little of fun time, I would say it would be a rapid fire round with you. So, hope you won't mind to answer, right?
I have never done it, but please try.
Yeah, yeah, let's try it. Let's try it once. So like for employee motivation, it's like rewards or recognition.
Recognition is more important than reward. People
Okay.
forget the reward, recognition, remember, they share it with their families also.
Okay. Okay. When it comes to the decision making, so it like a consensus or always the calculated risk.
There are three steps to decision making, and that is analysis, creativity, and judgment. Analysis is what is wrong, creativity is what can you do differently, and judgment is what is that is within your resources.
Okay, that's amazing. And so what's the biggest leadership challenge? Like building a team or managing conflicts all the time?
If you are building the team, conflict management is part of that. You know that forming, storming, norming, and performing. The most difficult stage is the storming part, and that's where the leadership lies, and that's the conflict stage. If you as a leader, if you can manage that, learn to manage it. I have a lot of ideas on that. If you can learn to manage it, you have built a team. Excellent.
Oh, true, true, very true. Yeah. And so future of work, that is the remote work or the collaborative workspaces.
Collaborative, always partnership between people.
Workspaces.
Yeah, nobody wants to work under you or
So
me
you
or
did it.
anybody.
You did it in such a great way. As you did for the first time, but it was amazing. You give it a your best try. So thank you like immensely so for gracing our LinkedIn live session with your invaluable insights and wisdom, you can say, and your words have been nothing short of pure gold for us. I think it would be definitely help us as a startup founder. And in fact, I am going to use a lot of lessons I have learned today in my startup journey.
And without
So
paying me anything, is it?
yes, no, 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 no,
No, no,
no.
I'm joking. All right. Anytime. Thank you
So
so
again, I
much.
would say like I have already mentioned that sir is available on exportbuzz.com and he's ready to support all the startup new founders in the Indian startup ecosystem because we need that much of expertise from people like you. And sir has that great experience as we all know. So sir is a continued growth, inspiration, and success guided by your remarkable leadership. And thank you so much once again for being an invaluable part of this enriching experience.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to me, and thank you, Priyanka, for arranging this. This has been enriching to me also. God bless you all. Take good care.